Okay, so we have here the test principle of your reagent test for your bilirubin. So you try to utilize here your diazotization reaction with the use of your diazonium salt. Okay, so what's being detected by your reagent test pad for your bilirubin will only be the B2 or your bilirubin diglucuronide. So to react here with your diazonium salt, your test pad could utilize any of this one na mga diazonium salt. You could have your dichloroaniline diazonium. We have also dichlorobenzene diazonium tetrafluoroborate. And it will give here a different shade of your acidic ranging from tan to purple to your violet in color. Okay, the sensitivity of this one is only 0.40 mg per dl. So mean to say, the concentration of your bilirubin diglucuronide present in the urine should have this concentration. Pag less than 0.40 mg per dl, ang ating bilirubin diglucuronide in the urine sample, it will give a negative result. Confirmatory tests for your bilirubin, we have here the tablet test in the form of your Ictotest tablet. The sensitivity of your Ictotest tablet is 0.05 to 0.05 to 0.1. Again, the sensitivity of your Ictotest tablet here, 0.05 to 0.1 mg per dl. So mean to say is much sensitive compared to your reagent test spikes. The following here are the reagent component of your Ictotest tablet. So, meron siyang diazonium salt in the form of your p-nitrobenzene, diazonium p-toluene sulfonate. Then we have also here your esterase sulfosalicylic acid. We have also here your boric acid, and we have your sodium carbonate. Okay, the positive result here would be any color, blue or purple in color. Negative is other color other than this one. Procedure for this one, you have here your tablet. You just drop 10 drops of the urine. And then observe here for the color na blue or purple na color. However, sometimes we're able to encounter here the presence of your interfering substances that also give this color na blue or purple color with your Ictotest tablet. To confirm that one as interfering substance and not a real na bilirubin, so you can wash off your tablet with the distilled water. So pag na-wash off na walang color na blue or purple upon addition of your distilled water, mean to say what is being present on that would be the interfering substance. Because if that one is a true bilirubin, that one will not be washed off. So even if you add distilled water with your tablet, andun pa rin ang blue or purple color. Pero pag nawala siya, so that's your interfering substances. Okay, now we go to the interferences. So we have the false positive result will be related to the presence of your urine pigments. So we have your phenosylpyridine. We have also your lodine or even your indican. Of that one will give a false positive results. False negative. Okay, so bilirubin again is photosensitive na pigment. So if you tend to expose this one directly to the sunlight, your bilirubin will be converted to your biliverdin, and that will give you a negative results. So another one, high level of ascorbic acid. O, andyan ulit sa ascorbic acid, false negative ulit siya. Okay, next we have here closely related to your bilirubin, we have your urobilinogen. Again, urobilinogen is a breakdown product of your conjugated bilirubin that is being acted upon by intestinal bacteria that could be converted here to your urobilinogen only if your conjugated bilirubin will go to your small intestine. Okay, we have here the normally. Normally, we are excreting urobilinogen at a concentration of 1 mg per dl or 1 Ehrlich's unit per day. Okay, so ang significance ng urobilinogen natin here is not on the increased level but the absence of your urobilinogen. Urobilinogen is absent again in your bile duct obstruction. Yung kanina sa ating bilirubin, diba? So that's what you are testing for this one. In the case of your post-hepatic na condition. Related to your bile duct obstruction, pag nagkaroon ka ng bile duct obstruction or biliary obstruction is because number one, because of the bile stone. or gallbladder stone. Pwede siyang bumara because of the bacteria, pwedeng bumara because of your parasite. So that would result here to your obstruction. Okay, we have here the reagent test pads, principle for your test for the urobilinogen. So we have here two test brands. So we try to measure here your urobilinogen. One is your multi-sticks, the other one is your chem strip. Okay, the multi-sticks na test brand, try to utilize the principle of your Ehrlich's reaction. So this test pad try to detect here your urobilinogen and other Ehrlich's reactive substances. Your other Ehrlich's reactive substances includes here your porphobilinogen, indican, para-amino, salicylic acid, methyl dopa. We have also here sulfonamide, procaine, and we have also chlorpromazine. So always one will eventually give a positive result in your multi-sticks. Mean to say this is not a specific test for the detection of your urobilinogen because other Ehrlich's reactive substances will give also a positive result. So we have you the test principles. So again, your other Ehrlich's reactive substances or Ehrlich's reactive substances including your urobilinogen reacts with your Ehrlich's reagent. Your Ehrlich's reagent is your p-dimethyl aminobenzaldehyde. And the end color, positive result here would be dark pink or red in color. On the other hand, the chem strip, the test brand, will only detect your urobilinogen. So very specific siya for the urobilinogen. So is this one, try to utilize the principle of your diazo reaction. So, minto si gumagamit siya ng diazonium salt as your chromogen para magkaroon ka ng color reaction. So your diazonium salt here is in the form of your methoxybenzene, diazonium tetrafluoroborate. Okay, and the end result is also dark pink to red na color. Okay, interferences for this test strip here. So, okay, false positive result may be related here to the presence of your after a meal because you're producing much of the urobilinogen after the meal. False negative would be the presence of your nitrite because your nitrite, same kasi ang principle nitong nitrite natin. Mamaya sa nitrite. Okay, diassociation reaction din ng ating nitrite. Okay, another method here for detection of your urobilinogen and your other Ehrlich's reactive substances would be the chemical method with the use of your chemical reagents. First one, we have your Ehrlich's tube. Okay, the Ehrlich's tube here is just 2 drops of the urine, then 2 ml of your Ehrlich's reagent, and try to mix, and try to observe here for the cherry red na color ng ating solution. So, Ehrlich's tube will give a positive result for all your Ehrlich's reactive substances. Ano ulit ang ating Ehrlich's reactive substances? Urobilinogen, porphobilinogen, your para-aminosalicylate, indican, methyl dopa, sulfonamide, chlorpromazine, of your protein. So, magpa-positive silang lahat. Okay, then how would you know na what is present here would be the urobilinogen or those other Ehrlich reactive substances? Then you need to proceed here with your differential extraction tests or the differential solubility tests. Okay, so let's call this one na test as your Watson-Schwartz test. Okay, so it make use of dalawang solution. We have your chloroform and we have also your butanol that would allow you to differentiate based on their solubility of our urobilinogen and other Ehrlich's reactive substances including your porphobilinogen. So first we have here the addition of your chloroform. So 2 ml ng urine, 2 ml ng chloroform. Okay, and then your sodium acetate. That's the reagent for that. I-mix mo lang siya. Then observe here for the color. Okay, so the C stand for the chloroform, U stand for the urine. Itong color natin red, and we have here the yellow. In the case of your urobilinogen, ang sa baba niya, which made up of the chloroform na part, is color red. At ang kanyang urine sa taas is color yellow. The porphobilinogen naman, ang kanyang chloroform would be yellow, and kanyang urine would be color red. For other Ehrlich's reactive substances except your porphobilinogen because it's also an Ehrlich's reactive substance, di ba? Pero separate lang siya dito. So, pareho sila ng reaction. For our interpretation, Okay, so chloroform red, mean to say your urobilinogen is only the one na soluble in your chloroform. Porphobilinogen, since yellow dito sa chloroform, other early reactive substances like again, your indican, itong mga iba. Ito. Okay, so kanyang result, the same with your porphobilinogen, signifying that one, they are not also soluble with your chloroform. Okay, next we have here your butanol extraction. So, dito sa taas ang butanol natin, sa baba ang urine natin. Okay, in the case of your urobilinogen, okay, we have here red ulit siya sa butanol, kung saan ang ating reagent, kung saan mag-red. Okay, mean to say, pag nag-red ang reagent mo, like here, butanol, nag-red siya, so that's soluble. Okay, urine mo dito sa baba, yellow. So, urobilinogen here would be soluble in your butanol. The same reaction with this one, other early reactive substance. For the porphobilinogen, so ang kanyang butanol is yellow, mean to say hindi siya soluble dito. Urine is red. So, with the butanol extraction test, ang soluble lang natin would be your urobilinogen plus your other early reactive substance. So, as a summary for your Watson-Schwartz test, okay, so ang urobilinogen ay soluble sa chloroform, soluble din siya sa butanol. Your porphobilinogen, hindi siya not soluble in a chloroform, not soluble din sa ating butanol. Your other early reactive substances other than the porphobilinogen, okay, this is not soluble in a chloroform, but soluble ito sa ating butanol. And therefore, that would allow you to differentiate if what's really present is the butanol ba, or other early reactive substances ba, or the porphobilinogen by this. If magpa-positive ka dito sa Ehrlich's tube test. Okay, another test here for detection of your porphobilinogen, we have your Hoesch test. Okay, Hoesch test here is actually would only detect the presence of your porphobilinogen. Our reagent for that is in the form of your Ehrlich's reagent in 0.1 in 1N hydrochloric, dissolved in 1N hydrochloric acid. So just have your reagent and then your urine, just mix that one. Positive result would have here red color, homogeneous red color throughout your solution. So pag mix mo siya, throughout red. So pag nag-positive ka dyan, it will identify the presence of your porphobilinogen. That's your Hoesch test. Okay, now we go to the next test pad. We have here the test for your nitrite. The nitrite test pad is a screening test primarily for the urinary tract infection. This is in accordance with the leukocyte esterase, another test pad. So both of them would try to identify the presence of your leukocyte esterase. I mean your urinary tract infection related to your bacterial infection. Okay, this test here would identify the presence of your urinary tract infection. We have two basically types of your UTI. One is the lower, we try to affect the lower genitourinary tract, includes your urethra, your bladder, and we have your ureter. That's in the form of your cystitis. On the other hand, pag hindi na-treat ito, ang bacteria on the lower, tumataas ang bacteria natin, like nag-ascend siya papunta sa ating renal pelvis, and we have your renal tubules. Pag nasa taas na siya, you call that one your pyelonephritis, but still consider pa rin siya as your urinary tract infection. Okay, this one is also used here to monitor patients on the antibiotic therapy. Like my UTM patient, so binigyan siya ng gamot, then eventually test for the nitrite mo ulit kung okay na siya or hindi. That would allow you to check here if the patient is responding to the treatment or not. This is also the test here for the monitoring the patient who have your high risk of the urinary tract infection. This includes your pregnant patient or even diabetic patient or even mga old age patient. This one is not, although this could help you to prevent your bacterial culture, so the need for bacterial culture. But then again, this is not a replacement for the bacterial culture. Okay, we have here the test principle of your test pad for your nitrite. So this is the grease reaction. So itong muna, before ka magkaroon ng ganitong reaction in your test pad. Okay, first we have here the basic reaction. So you should have your first your nitrate as your substrate. Action of your nitrate reductase. So this represents your bacteria that will convert your nitrate to your nitrite. So once you have your nitrite, this one will react in your test pads. Your test pads contains the reagent para-arsenic acid sulfanilamide to form here your diazonium. The diazonium reacts with your tetrahydrobenzoquinoline to form here your pink azodie as your positive result. Again, the test pad will give a positive result here if the bacterial count is 100,000 or more per microliter. So again, bago ka mag-react sa test pad, dapat ang bacteria mo merong ganito, nitrate reductase. Para ang nitrate mag-convert to your nitrite, and your nitrite will be the one reacting with your agent at test pads. So if your bacteria wala nitong enzyme na to, hindi siya magpo-produce ng nitrite. Your nitrite will not be, of course, here, since the one you are detecting your test pads, and therefore, magkakaroon ka ng negative result if wala kang nitrate reductase, ang ating bacteria, for at least bacterial count of 100,000 per UN. Okay, we have here the reaction interference with your nitrite test. First one, we have here the false negative result. So, the first one, false negative could be obtained here if your bacteria do not have the enzyme nitrate reductase. So the following bacteria are the one causing here your urinary tract infection. So we have your Enterobacteriaceae, your mga Escherichia coli, your Pseudomonas, those are your gram-negative. Okay, another one, we have your gram-positive, and we have also the yeast. However here, among this microorganism that try to cause urinary tract infection, only your gram-negative Enterobacteriaceae contains your nitrate reductase. In the case of your gram-positive, they use here, they do not have your nitrate reductase, but they are causing urinary tract infection. And therefore, they will not give a positive result with your nitrite test. Second one, you don't have here the lack of the contact time between your bacteria and your urinary nitrate. So in order for your nitrate to be converted to the nitrite, the bacteria should have here sufficient time, at least 4 hours, in order for that then to allow your nitrate to be converted to your nitrite. Okay, so basically our specimen for this should be your first morning urine, but not your random na urine. Why first morning urine? Because of course when you sleep, diba? So at least 8 hours. Okay, so you try to wake up in the morning. So that's approximately 8 hours of sleep. So your urine stay in your bladder for approximately 8 hours. So if your bacteria found in the bladder, okay, upon contact with the urine, so enough time siya that would allow it to convert your nitrate to your nitrite to give a positive result. Because even if you have the enzyme or even if you have urinary nitrate, pag wala siyang enough time to convert your nitrate to the nitrite, hindi siya makakonvert to your nitrite. And remember, your test pad will react only to the presence of your nitrate. Or your nitrite, I mean. So therefore, pag hindi siya enough ang contact time, it will give you a false negative result. The third one, it will give a false negative result here because you do not have here the substrate nitrite. You do not have here the substrate na urinary nitrate. Urinary nitrate, most likely, we try to obtain that one from your green leafy vegetables. So pag if you're not eating, even if you have bacteria, if you don't have your nitrate, wala ka ding nitrite, diba? So you need to eat that one in order for you to have your urinary nitrate as your substrate. Okay, number 4 here, the presence of your, some bacteria were able to convert your nitrate to your nitrite, but eventually, it further converted one to your nitrogen gas. So, may mga bacteria tayo na ganyan. So dapat ito lang ang maging positive natin. However, your bacteria causing your urinary tract infection further convert your nitrite to your nitrogen gas. And therefore, pag ito na magiging product natin, hindi na siya magpa-positive o hindi na siya magre-react to our test pad for your nitrite. Then eventually give you a false negative result. Another one, we could also have false negative result due to the presence of your antibiotics or your ascorbic acid. Always false negative ang ascorbic acid. Okay, false positive result. Well, the false positive result here could be obtained due to your unpreserved specimen where your bacteria try to multiply, so dumami ang bacteria natin, and therefore it could also here to your false positive reading. Because remember, this test, nitrite test, is for detection of your bacteria which try to cause here your urinary tract infection. Okay, the next test related to your nitrite, we have the LE or your leukocyte esterase. So leukocyte esterates will detect here the presence of your leukocyte or your WBC or your pus cells. In the case of your leukocyturia or the pyuria is the presence of pus cells. Leukocyturia, the presence of your pus cell. Leukocyturia, the presence of your WBC. So this test will detect here the presence of your WBC. So this much sensitive in the detection of the presence of your WBC, even if you have a lyse na WBC, which could be missed here if you're just having your microscopic identification. Kasi pag nagre-report tayo ng pus cells or WBC in your urine, when you're doing your microscopic identification, it's just represent here kung ano ang nakita mo or ilan ang nakita mo under the microscope. But then again, just like your test for the blood, pag nag-lyse ng ating leukocyte, hindi mo na siya mabibilang and therefore it might give you a false negative na reading. But this one, even if you have lyse na leukocyte or WBC, it still give a positive result. So medyo sensitive ito compare with our microscopic identification. Your leukocyte esterase is the enzyme primarily found in the following na mga cells natin. So it could be found here in your granulocytes, basophil, neutrophil, eosinophil, monocyte. It could also be found here in your trichomonas, chlamydia, yeast, and some of your inflamed na interstitial tissues. So in the case of your trichomonas, chlamydia, okay, yeast and other inflammatory interstitial tissues here. So you could have here, this one produces here leukocyturia. So I mean to say they are producing WBC, but without your bacteria because they're not bacteria. Except your chlamydia, I think chlamydia is a bacteria. Okay, leukocyturia because they are producing here, if you have this one, mga microorganisms try to produce here WBC, but they are not inducing an increased bacterial count. Kaya nga leukocyturia without bacteria. Okay, the test principle here for the leukocyte esterase, this is the test pad with the longest na reading time. So approximately 2 minutes ang ating reading time for this. So ang kanyang test principle here is your leukocyte esterase, obvious naman. So your leukocyte esterase try to react here with your indoxyl carbonic acid ester, converting that one to your indoxyl and acid indoxyl, reacting with your diammonium salt here, producing your purple na end product color reaction. Okay, we have here the reaction interference with your leukocyte esterase. So the false positive result, the presence of your oxidizing agents. We have also the urine pigments. We have also here the nitrofurantoin, and even your formalin. Okay, the false negative result, the presence of your, number one, high level of your protein, more than 500 mg per dl. For the glucose, more than 3 grams per dl. High level of your oxalic acid. We have also high specific gravity, resulting here to the crenation of your WBC. So once your WBC crenated, it could not be lyse, and therefore could not release here the enzyme leukocyte esterase. So once it could not release the enzyme leukocyte esterase, it will not give a positive results because in your test pad, what's being detected is your leukocyte esterase, the enzyme. It's being released dapat ng ating mga WBC. Okay, I forgot to mention kanina sa ating false positive result with the nitrite with the presence of your bacterial multiplication. Okay, so most likely kung contaminants lang ang present natin, it will not give a positive result here with your leukocyte esterase. Dapat kung through urinary tract infection, you should always give a positive result for your nitrite test and your leukocyte esterase. Okay, the last test pad for the reagent strip here would be the test pad for your specific gravity. Okay, the test pad for the specific gravity utilize the principle of your pKa, the station constant, okay, in of your polyelectrolytes in your alkaline medium. So the test pad try to determine here the presence of your ions or the solute dissolved in your urine. So if you have very much of the solute or the ions present or dissolved in your urine, so your polyelectrolyte try to ionizes and try to release here more hydrogen ions. Mean to say, pag madami kang solute present sa ating urine, madami siyang na-release na hydrogen ions. Pag madami kang hydrogen ions na-release here, so our indicator here would change the color, magiging acidic tayo, di ba? So, remember that your hydrogen ions, the measure of your acidity. So, pag madami ka ulit, pag madami kang solute na nakadissolve, madaming hydrogen ions ang ma-release. And eventually, that would signify here that you have high specific gravity. That would change the color of your indicator from your blue color, magiging yellow siya. The indicator used here would be your bromthymol blue. So, kaya nga nasa alkaline medium ito because of this bromthymol blue. But then again, if you have here much of the solute dissolved on that, it will change the color here from the blue to green to yellow. So, from an alkaline pH, magiging acidic siya na pH. Because again, pag madami kang solute, madami kang hydrogen ions ang ma-release, and responsible here for making your pH here becoming acidic. Okay, we have here the reaction interferences. Okay, so this test pad here for the specific gravity would not detect the presence of your high molecular weight substance like your glucose or urea, responsible here for the increase in the specific gravity if you're using your urinometer or your refractometer. Another one, this is not also affected here by the presence of high molecular weight substance in the form of your dextran or your radiographic contrast media, mga radiographic dye natin. Okay, but then again, since your reaction here try to works on the alkaline pH, okay, and if the urine sample, for example, here would have a pH of 6.5 or higher, and to say that one is an alkaline pH, you need to add here 0.005 for your specific gravity reading. Bakit ka mag-a-add ng 0.005 pag ang pH mo is alkaline ng pH? Because pag alkaline ng pH, ano mangyayari? Hindi siya mag-change ang color ng ating indicator. Even if you have your high level of or there are more solute dissolved on that one. Kasi alkaline ang pH mo, di ba? So therefore, hindi siya mag-change dito. Because ang indicator natin mag-change siya, ang color nito pag na-change din ang pH natin. Okay, so like, madami ka na na-dissolve na solute, pero ang pH ng urine natin is alkaline. So normally dapat, pag madami kang solute, madami kang hydrogen ion, ang ma-release, di ba? That would change the color of the indicator here from your alkaline, magiging acidic siya because of high level of the release of your hydrogen ion. Pero, even if you have very much of the dissolved na solute na present sa urine natin, pag ang pH mo ng urine natin sa alkaline, hindi siya masyado nag-change ng color ang ating indicator. So, that would result here to the false negative na reading. That's why you need to add 0.005 for the specific gravity because again of the interference caused here by high alkaline pH. Okay, so remember for this topic, you just need to identify the reaction, the test principle, and some interferences. Okay, thank you.